Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is good. Doubleheader Monday Night Football. We're either laughing or we're crying because, that was the first week of the Fantasy Football Playoffs. What are we doing? Must add players for week number 16, the semifinals. I'm still riding with y'all, man. My home league, the one league I'm defending champ, lost by 4 bloody points thanks to Lamar Jackson and a Mike Evans. Needed JJ to get me a nice 20. Got me almost, 18? Oh, this one hurts, man, but I still ride with y'all in 5. We got to keep going. Got to stack some trophies on that case. And I know you guys are still in that situation as well. We got to stack where we can. Injuries continue to mount up. And we're going to have some issues. We're going to have some backup players hopefully carrying us to those fantasy football finals. Let's talk running backs. Kendre Miller, first one on my board, potentially a huge pickup right now with an Alvin Kamara groin injury. This is worth noting, worth watching. He's going for a second opinion apparently, and this could be a big problem. Yes, they got the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football, so it's going to be tough sledding for a Kendre to run, so it's not the best matchup overall, but at least we're going to get some volume upside for a Kendre Miller. He did look all right running the football in relief of an Alvin Kamara as well. And he is only 16% owned right now, dealt with his share of injuries. He looks healthy right now, so at least hopefully in this sense, it's likely going to be Spencer Rattler or Hayner again throwing the football. So it's not a great situation in New Orleans where we think we're going to get this great running back to help us go into the fantasy finals. But at least Kendre Miller is going to give us some volume upside if we require it. If not, you're just going to, block your other opponents from grabbing him off the waiver wire. Kendre Miller definitely is a top priority running back for volume upside. Jerome Ford, now that Nicholas Chubb, he broke his foot, man. This poor guy cannot catch a break with injuries at all. ACL injury comes back, looks okay, and then he breaks his foot. He's done for the year. Jerome Ford taking on those Cincinnati Bengals. Huge game for the Bengals. And you know that the Cleveland Brownies are going to try to play spoiler, and you know that Jerome Ford is more than capable to handle a heavy workload. I could absolutely make the argument to say Jerome Ford above a Kendre Miller only due to matchup upside in this week right now. 43% owned, almost 100 points for Jerome Ford. Definitely a priority. We lost a Monty. No, man. MCL injuries, going for surgery. Unbelievable, the injuries to our running backs. We knew that Monty was going to be a league winner, man. 6 points this past week. This is another reason why I lost my home league as well, because Monty went down with that injury. Craig Reynolds, he's the backup plan, the man with the plan. Hopefully he's going to get us some touches, but they're going to lean heavily on a Gibby, so I don't fully expect a Reynolds to have a heaping of volume in this contest, but somebody's got to spell out a Gibby, and Reynolds has done and shown that he can at least handle volume when called upon, so definitely he is also a priority pickup for all y'all Monty owners who lost him. I'm one of them as well in other leagues that I'm still in as well, so this is not good news. No bueno. We got to definitely get some running backs. Tajay Spears. Okay, this is the biggest situation where Tony Pollard, he started off the game extremely fast. It looked like he was going to have a 20-point show, and then he fumbled the football. They started splitting touches with Tajay Spears, and Spears goes and gets 2 tutties, man. This is a problem. That should have been Pollard's carries, Pollard's touchdowns, but now we got Tajay Spears. He's looking healthy. We know that Tony Pollard is nicked up, so I fully expect a 50-50 split. You could, in this week against the Indianapolis Colts, but you could get disappointed once again as they go back to a Tony Pollard, but depending on how healthy or unhealthy a Tony Pollard is this week in practice, it will tell a giant tale. So Spears definitely is another priority running back we got to get on our squads heading into the semifinals. Amir Abdullah, now that McCormick went down with an ankle injury, we'll have to keep tabs on that as well. They tried to come back with a Desmond Ridder. It's not great, man. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Hopefully you got better options. You're not scrambling. But at least Amir Abdullah found his way back into that end zone. He is a very capable running back. Give him some PPR upside. So there is a decent floor when they do utilize him, even with a Desmond Ridder. So, versus Jacksonville Jaguars, he could have a decent day depending on if McCormick is out, and they might split touches again with a Madison as well. Definitely Abdullah is on the board, and Saquon goes down, doesn't return, but he should be okay. I only got Kenneth Gainwell here just in case a Saquon Barkley is not going to be good to go this week. He should be just fine, though. Quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, what I say last week, AR, man. They're going to be playing for pride. They're going to be playing for potentially playing in New York next year. We shall see. 226 points. He was finding Devontae Adams on the regular this past week, over 200 yards almost. Unbelievable contest for Adams as well, but Aaron Rodgers over the 30-point threshold definitely carried y'all, all y'all quarterback streamers that were looking for somebody. AR definitely did the business, taking on these LA Rams. Definitely going to be one of these contests. They're going to look to play spoiler once again, and you know that AR is up for that contest, man. 37% owned. He is definitely there to be streamed. Matthew Stafford, apparently he just can't play in the rain, man. His record in the rain is absolutely horrific. He gets these New York Jets this week as well in a must-win contest, continuous as they keep pace in this NFC West to potentially win this thing and make it into the playoffs. They do look good. Overall, outside of last week, was a definite crapshoot. Killed a lot of y'all with a Cooper Kupp, starting him as well. Starting Matthew Stafford probably didn't get you in the semifinals, but again, this week, it's a new week, man. It's a week-to-week league, so Stafford definitely on the board for streaming quarterbacks. Drake May continues. Not his best performance this past week coming off the bye week. They got the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo this week. We'll see what Drake can do. I don't foresee a great contest. This is definitely only deeper leagues for me. Mac Money Jones, 20-plus points. Brian Robinson Jr. is doing the business along with a Bretton Strange. What I tell you, okay, Mac Jones makes some dumb-ass, decisions. I mean, I can't sugarcoat that anymore. He just makes some really bad choices, but when he does make some plays, he's able to throw the football. He's a 40-touchdown guy coming from the Crimson Tide, Alabama. Roll Tide. I mean, he is good enough to play in this league. It's just he's got to cut those stupid mistakes. He can definitely get you a floor of 15 to 20, no question. With playing with guys like a Brian Thomas Jr., he's definitely there on for the taking, almost 6% owned. Cooper Rush, probably the best throw I saw Cooper Rush do against the Carolina Panthers was that rollout corner toss touchdown to Tolbert. Unbelievable throw he made. He's definitely on the radar, man. A Tampa Bay's defense still good enough to give him fits, but again, deeper leagues, you're looking for a quarterback to stream. Cooper Rush, almost 100 points, definitely is on that radar. Likewise, with a Bryce Young, not his best performance this past week, but taking on the Cardinals, who have seen better days overall, still fighting for their playoff lives as well, but they can be gashed through the air. Bryce Young and company have done decently overall as Bryce has continued to uptick his play. So 12 to around 17 points is your floor with good potential upside if they keep getting that run game going. That's another thing that hampered them this past week. And then Carson Wentz just on my board. If a Patrick Mahomes does sit, I would not recommend playing a Carson Wentz. But again, man, stranger things have happened in some of y'all's leagues, and if you are in deep leagues and dying for a quarterback, Superflex leagues as well, I'm telling y'all, Carson Wentz should be there on the waiver wire for y'all. Wide receivers, Romeo Doubs, he was my top priority last week. He is once again caught 2 tutties. Just missing a Romeo Doubs in this offense make Jordan Love feeling looked a lot better, man, this past week, and I do foresee it continuing, man. I don't know what the hell is going on with Jaden Reed. He probably ended y'all a long time ago, but at least a Doubs does have some upside, does have some appeal, and when they do go to him, he does make plays. So, again, 53% owned, flex appeal, definitely here if you're looking for an upgrade with TD upside on Monday Night Football versus those lowly Saints. Great matchup, great appeal, and the Saints, or the Packers, got to continue to keep winning as well. So Romeo Doubs definitely on the radar for big play potential. Jalen McMillan, man, what I tell y'all about this guy, you go back to my rookie scouting reports, I was gushing over this kid, man. Washington Huskies product. He played with guys like Rome Odunze, Jalen Polk, and I mean, okay, you didn't see the top-end appeal. What I say in his scouting report, he could be one of the better secondary wide receivers in this league, and he's starting to pick up steam, baby. We love to see it. He caught himself a very good contest this past week, found his way into the end zone, 65 points, only 14% owned. The only problem is, can you trust it in the biggest of games in the semifinals? It is definitely matchup appeal. Taking on these Dallas Cowboys could be a little tough sledding, but I mean, keying in on this run game, keying in on a Mike Evans. McMillan's going to still have his reins roaming free against defenses. I do like the pickup and potential play if you if you are struggling for wide receiver help. Pop Douglas, pop. What I say, man, if this kid got in the end zone, he could be something very special every single week. Finally got his way back into the end zone, but he is taking on those Buffalo Bills. Garbage time appeal only here in full PBR upside. Excuse me, only for a Pop Douglas. Rashad Bateman. He finds his way into the end zone twice, I believe, this past week, as Lamar Jackson definitely crippled a lot of us as well. 44 points for Lamar. Temper those expectations on a Rashad Bateman, because we've seen this story before. He gets out of nowhere, gets a massive contest, and then he goes to bed for like 3 games. So definitely watch out for Rashad Bateman. Not a bad pickup this week as well, but again, you're going to have to understand, temper those expectations, especially against the Pittsburgh Steelers. At least we know with Deontay Johnson, the issue going with there, Bateman's at least going to get his targets and his deep shots down the field. But I mean, hitting a tutty each week, hitting those 8+ targets is going to be difficult for a Bateman, but he definitely is on the radar. QJ, Quentin Johnston. Okay, they did not look great this past week. Tampa Bay definitely took it to him. He still got you 13 points, so not too shabby for a QJ. But they got to utilize this man differently, man. You see when you get the ball in his hand, he's able to make plays in the open field. Massive yak guy, massive speed guy. He's not just your jump guy, man. I don't know why they don't utilize him with the yak ability. Slant and go, slants, drags, get the ball in his hand. Some screen plays would be nice for this guy. He is definitely on the radar as well, taking on the Denver Broncos, who may be without a Patrick Surtain as well, so definitely going to keep tabs on that one. QJ on the radar, 54% owned. And then Tim Patrick, boomer bust, baby. I mean, my Buffalo Bills took it to those Detroit Lions. It was a great contest, but Tim Patrick definitely showcasing the fact that he's doing the most with his targets, and he is the forgotten man in this offense. So if you are in deeper leagues or you're desperate for a wideout, Tim Patrick is starting to have a decent floor, but it is going to be very much continuous boomer bust for a Tim Patrick. Tight ends, finishing it off with a Brenton Strange, man. Told y'all last week, I like this kid a lot in start sit, man. He just was peppered with targets from a Mac Money Jones, and I don't foresee that changing this week either. Taking on those Las Vegas Raiders is going to be lots of opportunity. This is a great matchup for these Jaguars to at least put heavy points on the board, and Strange is going to be one of these guys. So if you've been struggling for tight ends, Kate Otton's been failing you, and you're looking for somebody else to help out the cause, Brenton Strange definitely priority 1 tight end for me this week, as I think that he could repeat in a very big way with those PPR upside. Pat Freiermuth, the Muth, 55% owned. I don't typically put guys above 50% on my board, but there are some, we need players, man. And if the Pat Freiermuth is definitely here, even with George Pickens back, I mean, hopefully they continue force-feeding this man. What did I say in start sit? Pat Freiermuth could be a bust. I said the only thing saving his day is going to be a touchdown, and that's exactly what happened. He only finished with like 10 points, so it was very meek overall, but at least Pat Freiermuth has given you enough when he finds his way into the end zone. If Pickens does come back in a huge game versus these Baltimore Ravens, Pat Freiermuth could actually have another very sound day. They should be force-feeding this man like the wide receiver, too. He's got so much skill. Unbelievable. Ben Sinnett, rookie for these Washington Commanders, the Commies. Now with Zach Ertz dealing with that concussion protocol, we'll see if he does pass. You can likely wait on a Ben Sinnett as we go until we find out about a Zach Ertz, but he's definitely here. I'm a huge Sinnett supporter as well, Kansas product, and he is one of these, Kansas State product. He is one of these guys. He's a former fullback converted into a tight end. He's got athletic ability for days, very good hands, and he is a tough SOB. Just want to see him on the field, and I think he's going to turn some heads, man. Sinnett definitely big-time risk to play in the semifinals, but he's definitely on my radar. Stone Smart, man. Okay, he didn't do great this past week. Only 18 points taken on those Denver Broncos. I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers, they look so worse for wear without J.K. Dobbins in that run game. It does not look great overall for Herbie, but Smart still is on the radar. It's just questionable for me. I'm giving you options, not saying you need to take them just yet. I'll confirm all this and start sit, but at least we got options to flirt with here at tight end. And then Okonkwo, now with likely Mason Rudolph playing this week, you got to believe they've seen enough of Will Levis benched again. If Rudolph does play, Okonkwo does come back into the fold like a lot of other players in this offense where you can support him. He can give you passes down the field. So Okonkwo against these Indianapolis Colts, definitely back on the radar only with a Mason Rudolph. Will Levis just can't support multiple pieces at this point. But there you have it. That is week number 16 as we jump into those semifinals. Man, we got to get those trophies, get to those finals. I ride with y'all, man. Let's stack our trophy cases, get those championships, and we'll definitely get there. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.